Hello everyone, welcome to Property Zone Live. This is Sean here. Good evening, everybody, on this terrific Thursday. And today we are very honored. We have been able to get Miss Wai Hun, CEO of iMoney, to come on board. And today's topic
Hi.
is hello everyone. So today's topic is get your credit score report free. Okay. Now, let me share with you some of the story that I read on newspaper recently. And one saddening news, one very sad news, one person has been conned to pay 15,000 because he's in a dire state to get a loan from the financial institution. Okay, because he has not been keeping a record, he's getting somebody to help. The person that he met only on Facebook, right? Through a lot of conversation, this guy is keep extorting money from him. Okay, so I think one of the things we can prepare ourselves, because we need to be aware of the scam. But the second thing is, if we can know our credit standing in front of the financial institution, to prepare ourselves better in case we need to get a loan, especially during this challenging time. I think prepared is always one of the best solution in case, in the events the need arises. So we're very glad again. We actually have Wai Hun, okay, come on board and share with some of the things about iMoney and some financial tips. And for those of you who join in and is looking to get how to get your free credit score, stay tuned. Okay, so let's just go to the question we'll discuss, Wai Hun. So can you tell us a little bit more about iMoney? What are things they can offer to the members or the public, and its company visions? Can you let us know about it?
Okay, actually, iMoney is very simple. Just remember intelligent money decisions. That's what iMoney stands
Intelligent
for.
money decision. Okay.
Yes, yes. So basically, what we want to do is that we want to empower consumers to
Mhm.
actually make intelligent decisions on money matters. Because if you look at it, a lot of us are always in debt and we really do not know how to manage our money. Even when we have money, we do not know how to save it. So basically, there is no place that we can go to and actually, give us free advice. Of course, there's a lot of places, but one of the things that iMoney aspires to do is education. That's why iMoney focuses a lot on our learning center, in which we have thousands of articles that you can find out about. For example, here we're talking about the property market. If I want to buy a house, how do I get a housing loan? So that's
Okay.
the first thing that we do. The second thing, of course, is what we call self-awareness. A lot of people are not aware of their own financial standing. So how
Mhm.
do I find out whether the bank will actually give me a loan or not? And what are my chances and the probability of doing that? That's where actually iMoney provides a lot of tools. And one of the tools is the iMoney credit score. Okay, and it is free. You don't have to pay for it. You can come, and I still think it's one of the best credit scoring products in terms of what we offer. It's powered by Experian, but you can see that when you go in there, we will actually advise you and tell you based on your credit standing what you should do. There's actionable insights on how to improve your credit score. And we also tell you how you are standing against everyone else when you go to the bank. Okay, then of course, the third thing that iMoney does is that iMoney provides comparison tools. Okay, what does comparison tools mean? Now I feel that I'm ready. I've done a self-assessment already. I want to get a loan. Which loan should I get? Which credit card should I get? That's when you go to iMoney, and iMoney will actually not only provide easy comparison tools, we also have consultants that will give you advice.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for the sharing. Okay. I supposed to share a bit more about Wai Hun profile, but I forgot. Let me just pull out the things very quickly. Okay. Let me just go through the things. And also a bit more about iMoney as well. Okay. If you can see the screen here, Miss C. Wai Hun is not the co-founder of Juris Tech and also the CEO of iMoney Group as well. Okay, 20 years in the experience in the field. Okay, he has developed clients from telco, banks, financial institution. Some of the notable award that Miss Wai Han has just won is the EY Ernst and Young Woman Entrepreneur of the Year just last year, 2019. It was actually one of the most prestigious award in the business realm. And also, not to forget about the SOBA Star Outstanding Business Award for the Female Entrepreneur of the Year. Okay, so with her experience in technology solutions, it provides a lot of things to financial institution. That's why she can give us a lot of insight through a lot of platforms, for example, iMoney, that how can we prepare ourselves better in the event we need to get a loan. For example, that there's a topic we want to zoom in today, how to actually expand our knowledge in terms of different financial aspect. Okay, for those of you who have a QR scanner, you can always scan this in. This is actually one of the shortcuts. They will link you directly to the iMoney credit score website, or for those of you who don't have a scanner, the QR scan, you can actually go to Google, Mr. Google, and search for iMoney. Okay, once you search for the iMoney, it will pop up and actually it will brings you to a website just like this. Wai Hun, can you see the website? Am I showing the correct one?
No, you're showing your PowerPoint still.
How about now?
Still your PowerPoint.
Still my PowerPoint. Let me
Yeah.
just stop. Okay.
Okay.
Let me share the screen. Okay. How about now?
No, I don't see any screen. Wait, it's coming up. Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So basically, either through the QR scan or actually by typing iMoney in your Google search, it will bring us to the page. Okay. So actually, before today, I actually went to do a bit of walk around in the page and see how we can actually get some benefit and value by on this website. So one of the things I realized is that there are a lot of things like what Miss C has just mentioned. If you decided to get a credit card or even a broadband, okay, or take a loan, or you're thinking about saving and investment, there are many products offered by the marketplace here, which is supplied by different financial institutions that give us the comparison of the pro and cons. What are the special features offered by certain banks' credit card, for example? What are the best cost saving of a certain loans offered by different banks? So these are things you can call in here, stand at one place. I would term it as a very objective, very neutral things for you to do your comparison. Of course, this one is for people already know what they want. But what really impressed me is actually you can see there's an icon, there's a tab here, it's called Learning Center. All right. This Learning Center, once you go in here, it actually gives you a different aspect of financial or about money matters that you want to learn. You want to learn more about money management, you want to learn more about investment, all are available here. And of course, I think the most valuable things are the articles. I think there are thousands of articles available in this website, right? You see?
Yeah, thousands.
Okay. So for example, some of the things they mentioned about in regards of the budget 2021, investment checklist before the year ends, and also are you financially ready to buy a house in Malaysia?
Yeah.
So okay, now I think if you go back to the original website of iMoney, okay, there is basically a tab here about how you can actually get your credit score. So by clicking in, which I just did before, okay, so once I go in here, or any of you go in here, you'll be able to see get started for free. Now, why is actually very important? I just want to share with you some of the experience we have, either myself or my colleagues in IQI. Sometimes we make clients are very interested. They find a house or they find a property they like a lot. All right, but they worry about the loan. They worry about not able to get the loan approved to buy the house they want. So by not knowing the actual clear status of their in terms of their credit scoring, they won't be able to make a clear decisions whether to make the booking for the house. So with this iMoney coming in, I find that this is actually one of the best solution to people who is looking for investment, but as well as people like they are in the property line, in selling a property, they also can get their clients to know about their credit scoring in a much faster and better way. So just let me do a short demo of how you actually get your credit scoring. So when
But
you're
you're not
on
going to show
page,
the actual one, lah. You're not going to show the actual one, all right?
I'm not going to show the action because there are a lot of personal details here.
Yeah.
But I think through the verbal explanation,
Uh,
it's quite simple. But before you go in, just get ready your IC copy because that one is for, I think, verification as well as for the banking guideline qualification. So key in your name as per your IC, your phone number, and then you create a username and a password inside. So right, so they will send you a tag, a short-term password, a temporary password to your verified phone number. So from there, you click in, they will ask you to snapshot your IC. Okay, then it will also check to ask you a question about your current monthly income. Then voila, for my case, it takes about 10-15 minutes. A credit scoring has been emailed to my email address lah. So I'll be able to open up to get a score about it. Okay. So Miss C, can you tell us more about this credit scoring thing? Let me just stop sharing for a while. Okay. So
okay.
in
Yes.
Malaysia, most people are aware about CTOS, secrets, no? So with this iMoney credit scoring, how does it complement each other or how to differentiate?
Okay, I think that our secrets is actually by Bank Negara. Lah. Basically,
Mm,
all financial institutions, every time you apply for a loan, right, you have to report to secrets. Actually, CTOS and other credit rating agencies actually have to obtain this information from Bank Negara. One. It's just that how you enrich this report and actually produce it to the consumers. So that's one of the things that the iMoney credit score does. Lah. That means that we take all the information, we analyze it, and we actually tell you how to interpret it. Because you know why? Let's say if I tell you your credit score is 600, what does it
mm.
mean? You don't really know. If I need
Yes,
to
I don't
actually
know.
improve on it, what does it mean? So normally what happens for this credit scoring is that they actually use a few criteria. One of them, of course, is your payment history. That means that let's say if you have a card, how often do you actually pay on time? Okay, so that impacts your credit score. The other one,
Yeah.
of course, is your the length of your what do you call that, credit history. So which means that have you applied for credit before? That's why a lot of young people, if they want to take a loan from a bank, right, a housing loan or whatever, let's say if I am you, like you have 600,000 ringgit, and I say I need 600,000 ringgit, I pay you 3,000 ringgit monthly for the next 30 years. Will you pay me? Will you give me
Then
the
they just
600,000? No, right? Because you don't know who I am. Because you don't actually have my payment history. You do not know anything about my character. So that's the reason why the length of the credit history is important and the payment history. So a lot of people do not know, right? They'll think that if I don't have any credit, my credit score will be very good because, I don't have any exposure. But actually it's wrong because when you don't have any credit, there's no way they can tell anything about your character and your payment history. That's why if you are young, you want to get a housing loan, and you haven't got a loan yet, your chance of getting rejected, you already know already, is super high. And once you get rejection, it also impacts your credit score. So instead of doing that, one of the good hacks is actually to apply for a credit card first. Because it's easier to get a credit card and you can then prove to the bank that, hey, you're actually a good paymaster. Of course, the other third criteria is what we call the utilization, credit utilization. Okay, in layman terms is how much, let's say I give you a 10,000 ringgit credit card with credit limit. Is it every month you actually use 9,000, 10,000, and you cannot pay me back? You always pay me back the minimum only. So we actually know that you actually have problems managing your money. But if I give you 10,000 and every month you say, okay, I just spend 1,000 and every single month I pay it back completely, you don't have any outstanding. So that also impacts your credit history. So your credit score. So these are some of the factors that impact your credit score. And a lot of people do not know, even though certain things do not impact your credit score, for example, your PTPTN loan or your utility bills. But these are what we call, it will still appear in the iMoney credit score report to say that you did not pay your PTPTN. You did not pay your some of your bills. And whether or not impact the credit score, it impacts your standing with the bank. Once the bank actually sees, oh, this actually shows something about your character. Again, we're not sure how well you actually manage your money. That is the reason why everything that you do actually impact your credit standing, and it's actually good to actually start young and start early and start looking at your credit score, because if you start your self-assessment and with the suggestions, you can correct it over time, and then only apply for a housing loan.
Okay. So in short, let me just recap a bit. So if I have some dispute matter or outstanding amount with the utilities company, be it Tenaga, be it Maxis, be it Astro, would it affect the credit score in the iMoney, or will be actually come in a different aspect? When actually,
It's a different aspect because there's different sections that we actually display.
mm,
So that's the thing, is that a lot of times people do not know that, you know, a lot of the credit rating agencies actually show all of this information as well.
okay,
So, but anyway, if let's say you have any dispute or anything that you didn't pay, it depends on when you pull the credit report. You pull the credit report later when you've settled everything, then of course the bank will say, oh, this person is okay.
okay. I
Yeah.
just saw your admin or person just post the actual website. I'll share the HTTP address for the iMoney
Okay.
credit score. So for those people who are interested to find out where do you stand
Mm.
in front of financial institution, okay, click inside. Just get your IC ready. Click inside. Put in your name as per IC. Put your IC number, your email address, and your phone number. Go step by step. Voila, the credit score will be emailed to your, that for me it's about 10 to 15 minutes. You ask me, it's actually very impressive. And the best of it is free of charge, at least for now, right? How long is it gonna be free of charge?
Okay, that one I need to answer because you know why? Because we focus a lot on, like I said, we call it financial literacy, means educating people on their own credit assessment. Currently, we're giving free credit score for your first pool. So if let's say I've taken my credit score, 3 months later I want to check, you can't actually check your credit score again for free on our website. But we are working on plans on what to do with the credit score next year.
Oh, okay. Oh, just use up my free credit scoring
You just use a
report.
free credit score. Lor.
One of the things I want to highlight, okay, to be honest, the full mark is 781, right?
Yes.
So I get mine is slightly above 600. I think I was, no, one thing about this iMoney, the credit scoring report, not just telling you what are the score you get, actually that breaks down on the commitment you have. For example, I have a credit card with Bank A, Bank B, Bank C, and my housing loan and my car loan with Bank E or Bank F. Every time you click on the separate items, they will actually tell you what are things you did good. If, for
Yes.
example, for my case, I miss out few credit card payment, the 1 2 months. The main reason is because most of us who actually have car loan or housing loan, we always put on auto debit that we don't care, right? You have money inside your auto debit, but I don't think any one of us put an auto debit on a credit card because the amount that utilization on our credit card varies every month. So sometimes if you overlook the thing, the finance charges will come in, the late fees will come in, and the most difficult part is actually impact our credit score. So I think every person has to be very, very careful, okay? Not let the credit card payments, whether it's late or whether it's no payment or thing, affecting your credit score. I think two of the reasons. One I've done now is actually I put the things into my monthly calendar so that it will remind me again, this is the time to pay. Because when the bill comes, sometimes you look at the bill, how much you have spent, you put it aside, you forgot to pay on the day. So there's one way. The other way, one of my other friends does is she know that her credit card amount is roughly about 3,000 every month. So she actually put a auto debit or auto transaction from her saving account to her credit account, 3,000. So I asked her, what happened if you spend less 2,000, you end up paying 3,000? She said it doesn't matter because the additional 1,000 that I pay become an extra credit for my next month spending. It actually doesn't go wasted. So I actually quite okay. There's actually another way to perfect your credit score. I mean to improve your credit score, not to let a credit card payment actually impact. Yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing also is that the credit score also takes into consideration what you call your credit mix. Okay, so credit mix means that, for example, for you, you have credit card, you have housing loan, you have car loan. So like I one friend who actually her credit score is super high, she was showing me, okay? But then I understand why, because she has a very good credit mix and she has paid off her housing loan already. So, and the reason why that credit mix is important, because now, let's say if I take a credit card, the bank knows you can handle credit. If I give you 10,000, you will actually be able to handle it. But are you able to handle a term loan? Are you able to handle a housing loan? So that credit mix actually gives bank additional insight on how well you actually manage your money.
Okay.
Mm.
I see a question coming in. Not sure. Let's see. You want to answer on this? This is a question from Zilik. She asks, will utilization the loan moratorium deteriorate or impacting my credit score during this challenging, unprecedented time?
Okay, so it won't, but this depends on certain things lah. For example, if before the loan moratorium, you're already paying everything on time. So now, remember that during the first 6 months, for a loan moratorium, let's say if my, this is your secret record, it shows that I'm on time, means that it shows zero, I'm not in any default, then it will just continue being zero. But let's say if before that, you were already owing, it will reflect in your secret report, which is your payment behavior, and it will cause it to deteriorate. So
How
that's
about,
one thing.
sorry, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
correct, continue, sorry.
So if you have not been paying during a moratorium, it will not say that you have defaulted because there is a moratorium.
How about those on the current one, let's say from November onwards, those are on the extended, not the blanket one, the extended loan moratorium. Does it impact the credit score? Those who are already like impacted, whether they have a salary cut by half or being retrenched, they actually got the approval from individual bank on the extended loan moratorium program. Would it impact their secrets or credit score?
It shouldn't impact, like, you know why? Because they have already applied to the bank. Because the second one, you have to opt in, you have to apply, and the bank has to agree. So then if they have agreed, they will restructure your loan, then it won't be considered that you have defaulted.
Okay.
So yeah. So
Thank you
okay,
for
but
answer.
I also want to say one thing, like, you see, just now I was saying that, okay, so the credit scoring, whatever credit score that you get, only shows your conduct and your character, the conduct of your account. But it doesn't show your capacity for payment. That's why when you go to the iMoney credit score, it asks you how much is your salary. Because with your salary, I think you know how banks evaluate. They actually look at what we call the debt services ratio. What does debt services ratio mean? Very simply is that, let's say, right, your salary is 10K, just for easy reference. Okay, then you actually have all these loans, and the loans, every month, your monthly payment amounts to 7,000 ringgit. So what is your debt services ratio? 70%. It means that you only have 30% for your additional spending. So normally the banks, if it's above 70%, they won't even give you a loan because they don't think that you can survive. Okay, and normally for us, we will say for financial prudence, it's good to just stay at 30-40%. So it depends on your own, appetite, your financial goals, what you want to do. So that means that the credit score only one factor. The banks also evaluate your capacity for payment.
Okay.
The other thing, of course, is that if you look at the 5 C's of credit, especially for property, they also evaluate what you call the collateral, which is your property. So because you see property, if you take a property, you know that the banks will actually look at exposure as well. That means that I have this developer and they have this project. If a lot of people come to the bank and they actually apply, they will say, I want to reduce the risk in that project. But also, when I want to buy a property, the bank will look at, is that property a good property? Will it appreciate in value or not? So some of them will have criteria to say, is it better if it's a landed property compared to a high risk? So then, so all this is not in your credit score because these are when you apply for a loan, because we also do credit scoring systems for the bank. So these are some of the considerations that they look at. And of course, now there's a very important consideration, which is called condition. The condition means that, for example, if you are in tourism industry, you're in travel, you're working in a hotel. These are all the sectors now that the bank are actually wary of giving loans to.
Yeah.
Also, if you're self-employed, so it depends on the different banks' appetite. That's why if you want to change your, let's say you want to change job now, right? The banks also look at the tenure that you've been in your job, in your position. Because if you are just newly in a new position, they'll be worried. So you really want to get a housing loan, you should get one before you change job.
Yeah, that's a crucial part as well. Especially you jump into a different industry, that will even carry more impact as well.
Yeah.
And so, thank you for your question, Tilek. And good answer for Miss C. And Wai Hun, remember we were talking about pandemic, low interest, whether it's a good time to buy a house. Remember we actually go through that.
Yeah. So what's your
Uh,
view? Since you are the property expert, should we buy
I
a
would
house?
say I'm probably expert, but I think through our platform IQI, we actually have a lot of learning center, learning articles, just like iMoney. Now, we zoom in, actually provide, I think the education value is there. But when I actually look at the iMoney, to answer the question whether now is the best time to buy property, whether it's a good time, let's say better, is it a good time to buy property during pandemic right now? Okay. So I think the question has to be tilted towards, it's not about the timing, but it's more about yourself, ourselves. Because this is a unprecedented challenging time that nobody have experienced before. So I think it depends what are the status, what the situation you are in now. Because for some people, it may sound brutal, it may sound blunt, but these are the actual situation people are in now. They are in depth, and every month the commitments is almost up to here already, right? They have a very hard time to breathe. Then they live in stress. But I think iMoney, one of the value they can put inside is if you actually have a lot of debts, doesn't mean that there's no way out. Actually, there's always a way to look at the products in terms of going to a debt consolidation or debt restructuring by either transferring the debt there's in higher interest rate, move to a lower interest rate. For example, from credit card, you move to a personal loan. And also from a shorter tenor, they actually can extend to a higher tenor. One examples, the people that I know, they are paying about 8,000 every month, and their income is only about 10,000, right? So with the situation now, they're no longer enjoying the 10,000. It's making their life more challenging. So what I do is they actually go to a debt restructuring by bringing down their every month commitment from 8,000 to below 5,000. So if people are in this situation, I think no, I think buying property is not a good time for you now, at least not for now. Okay, I think going to a platform, iMoney or other places to get a way to consolidate your debt, restructure your debt so that you can actually go through this challenging time. That's better. Second one, other one, you work for a glove company. I think you'll be laughing to the banks. You know that months of bonus is waiting, right?
Yeah.
So I think if you know your job is secure, you'll like the fact that this is actually a good time to invest because seller, be it individual seller or developers, they are more friendly in terms of pricing.
Yeah.
No, government make it easier to buy a house. If you're qualified for the homeowner uh, campaign, there's a lot of saving you can enjoy. And third, not to mention, the low interest rate. Previously, our loan is about 4.5%. Now you can get, if you have a good profile, find a good bank, some of the bank can offer you below 3%. So you're talking about a drop of 1.5% in the mortgage. Then I think by all means, this is the time you should go and scout around. After you access your credit score from iMoney, of course, then you know where you stand. So from there, I think you come to iMoney platform, you're also able to find out the loan comparison. What are the different things given out by different banks? Because if you talk to any individual bankers, I think sometimes they also want you to take their loan from their bank so that their sales can be concluded. So you may also wonder whether you get the best thing in the market. But coming into an objective, neutral place and it's very easy to understand through iMoney. I think people can sort out the best product, the best mortgage loan by going through the iMoney. So I think these are the things. If you're different cycle of different situation in this pandemic time, these are different things you can do, and I think iMoney can actually provide value to that.
Actually, I like what you are saying about the assessing your financial situation and reviewing your financial goals. You see, one of the things about the financial situation is that, for example, you want to take a property loan, right? You can actually look at refinancing because let's say, like you say, your friend, 10,000 ringgit, and now he actually has problems. Let's say even servicing his loans. Obviously, if he bought property some time ago, the property would have appreciated. Most of the property would have appreciated. So, which means that if he refinance, he can even get cash out if he is really desperate. And actually, when you consolidate the loans, there are a lot of products that you go to a home loan, you will see where they will handle your debt consolidation of your credit card and other personal loans with much lower interest rate, because now you have that property as a security. So a lot of people need to think of, now I am cash strapped, what are my options? But the other reason why improving a credit score is useful is because a lot of banks actually consider your credit scoring in order to decide what is the interest rate they give you. If you ask for a better interest rate, it also depends on your credit score. So it depends on whether the bank provides risk-based pricing or not.
Okay.
So you can potentially save money by improving your credit score.
Actually, somehow we always thought that financial institutions were quite rigid and quite strict, sometimes to the level that we find that they are not too friendly. But recently, I noticed certain things have changed. For example, just mention the case. He's in the situation. He has a lot of personal debt, a credit card debt. He has a house that he can actually get some cash out, like what you suggested. But previously, the bank look at it. You already have such a high commitment, right? Because by paying a credit card, by paying a personal loan, you already kind of damage his DSR and credit scoring. So the bank will not be able to grant them additional loan on his home equity. So it's like chicken and egg.
Yeah.
So now I have seen certain financial institutions, what they do is they actually allow the cash out portion, but they hold the portion out. Let's say, for example, he can take out 300,000 from his house. His current debt commitment is about 150,000. What the bank do, what the financial institution, before they reach out the 150,000, they use the remaining 150,000 to settle all his debt first.
Yes.
And then release the cash out portion, the remaining 150,000 to the individual. Because by doing that, he will know that he will be in a better financial situation, and the repayment to the bank on the new housing loan would be safer, because there's no more credit card and personal debt for the moment.
Yeah, and I think what you say also correct lah. Like in this pandemic, right? You see, last time when we're talking about the previous recessions, we're actually talking about a V-shaped recovery to the economy, which means that the economy went down, right? And then after we recover, here with MCO after MCO, right? We're actually not really looking at a V-shape. It's more like a U-shape, which means that Bank Negara already said they're not going to increase their OPR by much, which means that especially for long tenure loans like housing loan, you actually benefit a lot from the savings. Like you say, from 4.5% to now people offering 3%, and some of them even going below 3%. It is quite significant. So and with all this like HOC and other type of campaign, home ownership campaign, where you don't have to pay your stamp duty, where the developers are giving you more than 10% minimum discount and all this kind of stuff, it means the savings is significant. Because you realize that especially for now, a lot of people that are buying houses are those like fresh graduates, millennials, and all those things. A lot of times it's very hard for them to come up with a down payment. Down payment easily 10% already. Then after you add all your stamp duty and all that, it's actually quite a lot. And a lot of people forget they still need to renovate and buy things for their house, And then they need to have pay maintenance charges. So any type of savings is very, very significant, especially if you say that I get to save 5 to 10% from all the miscellaneous charges that I have to pay.
Yes. Don't just think about 10% down payment for the house is all you need. Sometimes you need more than that. So the HOC really helps. So Wai Hun, you're able to see the comment on the
No, I cannot see any comments.
If you see there's a private chat, and then you click on the comment.
Oh, I see comments. Okay, I see.
You see the last one from Asok Max?
Yes.
Does early loan settlement improve credit score, or would it be the same if you constantly pay monthly loan? How you want to answer that question?
Okay, so according to experience, because we're using experience credit score, it does affect your credit score. Settling an account instead of paying it in full, right, is considered negative because the creditor agreed to take a loss in accepting less than what it was owed. However, the impact is significantly lesser than not paying your loan or being late in your payment. Because the early loan settlement, right, you see a lot of times the banks, they actually want to make money from your loan, Early loan settlement also means that they actually make less money.
But I would think, let's say, for example, if I have a outstanding car loan, let's say 50,000, but every month I'm paying 2,000 for the car. But if I decide to use the 50,000 to settle the car loan, but at least on my DSR, I'm 2,000 less in terms of commitment, isn't it?
You're right. So that's why I say there are many factors to a credit score. To that answer, I don't really know in the end what's the factor. You know why not? Because first we have the factor which is your payment history. If your payment history is good, then that's good. Then we have the length of your credit history. Then of course we have outstanding. Here you actually help to improve your outstanding. So,
Yeah.
but you see, one thing is that the length of the payment history also depends on. Remember that I was saying that take a credit card when you are young, because then let's say if I take a credit card when I'm like 22 years old, right? By the time I'm 30 years old, I already have 8 years history already. But if I take out that credit card and I decide that this is not a good credit card, I take it off, right? It's an average credit history, you know. You will not even, then suddenly I take a new credit card, is considered I only have 1 year credit history. So it's a factor of a lot of things. So to Asok Mac's actual answer, I cannot give him the actual one because you see, they counter off each other.
I see where you're coming from.
It helps me with the credit utilization, but it may affect other things.
Okay. This is the real world we are living in. There's no way it's not absolute left or right. There's always something we need to strike a balance. Okay.
Yes.
So we have come to 36 minutes. I'm not see any more questions coming in. Okay. So I think maybe some of them are busy going to your website, the iMoney website, to find out their own credit score. So if you are there, just remember you want to do it, just get ready your IC, because they need to snapshot your IC for verification. So then once you go in, you should be able to get your credit report. Hopefully, I don't know, does the night time affect the response time, turnaround time?
No, it doesn't really affect the turnaround
Okay.
time.
So just
But
wait for it in the email.
yeah, so you can actually when you go for a credit score, one thing of course is that you see that after that there's a next step one. It doesn't cost you any money. You can just key in, for example, what is your salary or income, because then it goes the next step in which the system actually calculates for you roughly what's your eligibility. Okay, that means that if you want to take a housing loan example, what's your eligibility? But let's say you say that, wow, I'm eligible for 2 million. I don't want to take 2 million. I want to buy a house that costs 700,000. You can actually put there maybe 600,000 or whatever. And for tenure for how long, the system will automatically calculate what is the installment and then what are all the corresponding products that you can get from the different banks.
Okay. Good. So
Yeah,
with this, anything else you want to add?
yeah, and one more thing I was saying, like, you know, for example, if you don't really have any credit products, you want to apply for a credit card, right? Like I said, if you get declined, it will actually impact your credit score. One of the things you can do is that you can also go to our website, just key in what credit card that you want, fill in your name. For that, a consultant will actually call you and then calculate your eligibility and tell you what your likelihood of actually getting approved by the various banks. Okay, so it's a safer bet if you want to apply for a credit card and you don't have any credit products.
All right. Thank you so much for your input, for your insightful sharing. Again, thanks everyone for tuning in. So just remember to get your free credit report from iMoney. So I see you guys next time. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you, Wai Hun.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll see you very soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Elise.
Bye.